Hello and welcome back to Alex Goes Sailing. It's the next day and I'm just whizzing around in the kicker. Just got off the boat. It's maybe like 10 o'clock in the morning. We're just off Teen, which is the island that we're anchored in. So we're gonna go and have a walk. Daniel's just gonna get his yak out and he's gonna yak across. We're gonna go for a walk. He's gonna yak for a bit. I'm gonna go in for a swim. I'm gonna try and film it because it's quite cool here. It's like crystal clear. There's a lot of seaweedy and rocks around, so it should be pretty cool to film. The wind has dropped as well because it's quite windy last night, over 20 knots. But now it's definitely dropped below, which means for a good sail on the way back to the mainland today. The aim is to leave at about 12 because that's when the tide kind of switches, and it should take around, it's 35 miles, should take around 6-ish. Might be even faster, depends on how she sails. But we're going to do a little bit of boat prep before we head off. Right, to get to shore, I've actually thrown the kicker back on because we did have the petrol one when we were over in Briar and the other side of Tresco. Because we had me and my brother and we were zipping around, and we wanted to give it a go and see how it was with two people because we haven't tried that outboard with two people. We've tried this one with two people, works a treat, and the speed difference isn't really that much, although that outboard is like 2.5 horsepower and this one is a one-ish, I think. I'll have to check, I'll put it on the screen, but I think it's about 1, and it's pretty impressive that it can push along. I mean, you can only go whole speed, there's no planing with this. You can't even plane with that outboard with one person in. So I mean, you got whole speed, and this is a very small boat as well. The other thing about this, it's still on 28% charge, and it started off at about 90% charge when we got here. We used it when we first got in, we used it at Samson, used it at a few other spots as well, but here as well. And this battery is still going to last quite a while, and we're in, well, slow speed at the minute, but I think I've even got it down past 0% and it still keeps on going. So yeah, right, we're going to do a beach landing. And yesterday or the other day you would have seen me with the outboard having to lean it back and use the kill cord, the switches and the fuel leaking out the top and stuff. This one, all I got to do is release that lever, it will kick up and I can set it at whatever height. And I got no worries about getting into the shallows, and it's nice and easy. And to kill it, I'll just yank off this cord, or I can use the remote that's in my hand. You could probably charge it up a bit there. So you can either just stop it with the button or just pull the cord off, which is, yeah, pretty easy. And we're getting pretty shallow now. Right, the plan is I use one hand to show you how easy it is. Now, if I get set, I can kick that up so it's already loose. And then all we got to do is push down, and you can see it starts kicking out a jet up there. And you can either just lock it off like that, and that's probably not kicking out much further than the boat actually is. Getting even shallower now. The one thing this outboard doesn't like is any kind of seaweed, but I mean, what outboard does like seaweed? I mean, because it's got the shroud around it, it can actually get tangled in it a little bit more. But it's quite easy to undo. You just stop, pull it out, and carry on again. Daniel's getting his kayak ready. Getting a bit shallower now. Let's kick that up. That's about as high as I want to go. Literally right at the surface. Look at that. This is in step 1 as well. And we've landed. Look at that. What happens if I put it right up? Whee! Oh, we hit the sand a little bit. That moves a lot of water. So pull off the kill cord and it's dead. Can't do nothing now. Press the buttons, it does absolutely nothing. So I'm just gonna click it up all the way, like so, and it's on there. I do find that the magnet on this thing isn't the strongest. Any kind of like clunk, it will just drop out just like that. So it would be a good idea to just tie this off somewhere. It shouldn't be too hard. Most of the time I just hold it in my hand because it's way easier to use when it's in your hand, so I just put it around my wrist normally. But yeah, we're drifting away again. I'm just gonna get out, take the kill cord off, and we're in. Pretty cold water still. It is the end of August, so yes, not the most warmest of waters. You would have thought it'd be a bit warmer after the summer, but No, definitely not. So my swimulator is going to be a little bit on the cold side. Can't remember if the tide's going up. I left my phone in the boat. Let's pull it up a decent way. I think it's coming up from memory. So, a bit of a closer look. You see, this is the prop shielding stuff, so protects it when you get into the shallows. The blade's never really going to get attacked by anything, but the seaweed is the only thing that's going to get you. You can do as well is there's a collar in here you can adjust, which allows you to slide and change the depth of where your prop sits, so you can have that just below the bottom of your transom and get it finely tuned, because I think mine's a little on the deep side. So when comparing the kicker to the was it Suzuki 2.5 4-stroke outboard, compared to 2-strokes and stuff, that's a lot more on the lightweight side. Pick it up one-handed, just jump onto this thing. With that one, it's a little bit heavier. Definitely takes 2 hands or 1 hand balancing the boat and trying not to drop it in the drink. This is a lot easier to use, simple. Anyone can use it. No need for chokes, fuel, bad fuel, carburetors, filters, bad things like that. So yeah, really glad we got it, and it makes life so much easier because instead of having to worry about fuel and things like that. Here comes Daniel. He dropped his paddle. Rookie mistake. Oh, is that high enough? We will never know. Right, let's explore this island. The sand. It's weird, the sand on the Scillies, because like some beaches are very coarse and then it gets gravelly, and then you get really, really fine, like white, sandy beaches. So yeah, everything to anyone's taste. This stuff sticks to your feet quite well. And down there, people landed on the beach. Just been doing some more extreme flip-flopping, jumping along this ridge. A little bit sketchy, but you know, there's a guy out there rocking and rolling. He's doing some crabbing or something, who knows. Just looking at the waves, there's no white caps, so the waves should be all right. I mean, we had way bigger up in Scotland a little bit earlier. They were spicy, but we did hit 11.5 knots, I think. So that was zooming. Today should be a nice day because we've got decent wind. We're kind of going across it, so fastest point of sail pretty much. So we'll be zooming, and then hopefully Tuesday will be enough wind because it's looking a little light to do spinnaker sailing. So I really want to get the spinnaker out, but if not, we'll definitely get some done on Wednesday. We'll just have to see. So yeah, I'm going to do some careful flip-flopping back down to the beach. Right, I'm sat at max speed at the minute, so we're moving. There's a sight off to the side for reference, going at a decent pace. We're kind of going across the wind, definitely moving. You can see the ground beneath. Lovely. Cold?
Yeah, it's actually quite nice actually.
Yeah? I'll have to get in there. It's recording.
Okay.
I'll just lob it in and go get it. Is it deep enough? Oh, can you get to the bottom?
Yeah.
Ready? Go. time to get a wriggle on. I've just oinked the main up, and yeah, we're just gonna pull anchor, and we're just doing some rope stuff, and we'll get a wriggle on. We're in Teen in a minute. We're gonna go back out down here, and then out between St Martin's and St Mary's, which is over there, and then shoot straight across. The wind currently in here, it's about 11 knots. It's saying it should be like 13, but gusting 20. I don't think it's going to be gusting 20. I think it's going to be like solid 15 knots maybe. That's my guess. We'll see what happens when we're out there. But yeah, should be good to roll. Look at that. Yeah, anchor up. Yeah. Anchor will go in the hatch. We've cleared this deck. Yak's on that side because we'll be leaning on this one the most. We've checked the bilge pumps as well. We don't want another one of those events where they don't work. So that one works, and we have our special new pump which is in there, which should make it really easy to pump out, and we'll give it a check here and there, but I'm not expecting loads and loads of waves over these hatches. Here he goes. Here he goes, and the sun's trying to come out. It's got a little bit brighter, so you can see a bit of blue sky over there. Hopefully we will get some. All right, I'm gonna get back to the cockpit. We've also changed the line at the back. I don't know if you can see that. This is now Dyneema, because it used to vibrate with the old rope, which is down there. Vibrate when we get going really fast. I think over 6 knots it goes, which would be pretty cool. Make you feel like you're going really, really fast, but I thought we'd change that. Another thing we did, always check the lines that control the hammers folding in and out. Make sure they're nice and tight. So if they're loose a little bit and it moves forward and leans on it, it can potentially break it. So they're locked off and checked. So yeah, plotter's on. I've got my phone tracking. We're good to go. We're technically sailing right now, although yeah, the sail is whacking onto the backstay. It'll pop out. Right, instead of me sailing onto the shallows, let's zoom in and get a wriggle on. We are in the middle, I guess. You can see on the plotter the separation zone, so it's like a roundabout. They got a lane going up that way and a lane going down this way, and similar all the way around the Isle of Scilly. But we're heading kind of to that waypoint there-ish. See if it's going to be rougher than this or whatnot. This is apparently, well, when we started it was meant to be about 1.5 meter waves with about 1 meter swell, and then it's meant to go down to about 1.2 waves and about 1 swellish. And then when we get past Land's End, it should hopefully go down a bit more, probably down to around 1 meter each. But who knows? We just spotted a dolphin as well. I think it's a dolphin. Looked pretty white or very light grey. Like pretty cool. So yeah, this is the plan. We're kind of dealing with currents at the minute because it's basically almost exactly high tide. So they're all going to start to switch and want to start going this way. So we've got 0.7 going with us at the minute. It was at like 0.8 and stuff like that, so it's slowly dying off. And then when it switches back down, you can see that blue arrow up there. It's actually switched to go this way. 10 minutes ago it's going that way. So I'm going to get pushed down this way a bit, which is kind of what I want because I'm kind of pointing too high anyway. And we're going, I'd say, slightly down the wind. It was directly on a beam. I kind of want to point up a bit higher. But I'm just going to hold this until it starts pushing me down. I can turn up and get a bit more speed going. Because at the minute we drop down to about 5.5-ish knots, which is pretty good going, but we could turn up into the wind and make a little bit more wind because it's dropped off a bit. We've got about 8 knots at the minute, 8.5 knots. We were getting a solid like 11, 12, 13 even. Definitely didn't see the gusts of 20 knots or more that they had on the thing. So biggest gust I saw was maybe 15 knots at a push. But the sea state is bigger than what the wind is. So I'm not too fussed about the wind. The wind's nice. It says our ETA to the next waypoint is going to be 6 o'clock. It was at about 5:30 roughly. So we'll just have to see. Thingies are doing all right being towed. The Trimaran ST2000 Plus is doing a great job. Hasn't got unhappy about anything, just holding the course. I've been going set on 85 degrees at the minute, and that's pretty much what we're holding there, course over ground. So I'm quite chuffed. There is a mark of waves there, so probably because like a shallow bar coming out, but I don't know, it's probably not too much of a problem. There you go, all of them started switching to go down. Still slowly pushing that way. So, oh, here's a big wave. So that's the plan. I'll chat in a bit. Right, we have got to Land's End. You can see just over there. Right up to our side is Land's End. We're just coming up to the point over here, and we're going to go around this bit of contours just to make sure they get done by some waves. So I'm going to loop that and then head along the coast. Doing about 7 knots at the minute. We're making it to that waypoint of 5:30, and then it's probably about another 2 hours to get into the anchorage that we're aiming for, which is in Penzance. Like there's a mound, St. Michael's Mound, I think it's called. So that's our target. I was tempted to anchor in a little bay over here. I still might be tempted, but we'll see. Because St. Michael's Mound would be pretty cool. This base would be pretty cool as well. It's just a little bit more exposed. The waves have also died down a bit, and they're a lot less confused. It's gonna get better and better the further down here we go. And we managed to avoid a band of rain which like passed through. So it's clearing up. And we might get some blue skies later, which would be nice. Oh, we've got bolognese for dinner, so I can't wait for that. And I'm pretty chuffed. We're just zooming along. There's 7.5 knots. The autopilot doing well. The wind vane doing well. The plotter doing well. Sails are doing well. Dinghy's doing well. Yeah. Very, very chuffed. Right, just rounding into the Bay of Penzance, and you can see the mound over there. Looks pretty sick in the sunlight. Got a bit of gust coming through this valley here. Sun's kind of disappeared behind all that grey stuff, but I'm glad we got a bit of blue sky over here. We've got 12, sometimes gust up to 14 knots, because we're kind of making our own wind. It's kind of dropped a little bit, or he's turned right up into it now. Sheeting in the Genoa a bit and the main, but absolutely lovely sailing conditions. This is like ideal for the Trimaran because it's so flat and smooth. At points we even lift this hammer out of the water completely, which is pretty cool. So I'm quite happy not to have used the outboard this whole trip, apart from just getting out of the cities. I used it all of the way, all 9 hours, so it's quite a long use of the outboard. But we had to get out there. So flat, so hot. Zooming along at 6 knots in now 10 knots of wind. Half wind speed, very good. Right, the wind is dropping and we can't point exactly where we want to go. So I'm just going to get past these markers over there, and then we'll probably bring in the head sail first, and then we'll turn up and then drop the main. I'll bring in the Genoa and then put the outboard in. I think that's the plan to go. But look at this sunset. Sun's managed to pop out, but it looks like some more clouds coming over. So hopefully we can get there before the sun goes away. You can hold it tight-ish. Yeah. Right, we're just about to put the centerboard up. Don't know if I've shown you this, but this goes down, then he just tightens it up on the thing, so it's as tight as you can get it, and then Bob's your uncle. Bosh. Lovely. Look, the Sicilian's coming in as well, and something else maybe. Just pulling up to the anchorage now. You can see the mound there, pretty epic looking. Might even get a bit of sun popping out over the top of that, which would be nice. And yeah, we'll be anchoring in 2.5 minutes, something like that. So lovely. Gotta watch out for these rocks on the approach, but it's a nice tucked away little anchorage in there. Right, we dropped anchor and yep, bye St Michael's Mound. A few rocks over there, nice and sandy here. You can see the causeway now. Just got dinner on the go down below, so bolognese, onions and stuff, and then spaghetti, a lot of it, enough to feed like 5 or 6 people, but I'm hungry. And look at that mounted. We made another St. Michael's mound for spaghetti bolognese. Look at that. Finished up with dinner. It's now thoroughly dark now. I'm using the deck light on the mast to illuminate myself. It lights up the deck quite well. When you get back to the cockpit, it doesn't actually light up the cockpit at all because it creates a shadow from the mast. So you don't blind yourself, which is nice. But that water is so shallow. We're very close to the bottom. The depth gauge is not even reading anymore. So this is pretty much it. It goes a little lower tomorrow in the morning. So got to be careful of that. But should be good. It's nice soft sand. And well, the shore is literally there. Plenty of lights about. You can see Penzance off in the distance. Right, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.